Shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash. We're going to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rekadash, that were honors to the apostles and the elders. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in this truth. You know, this is a picture, and the name of this lesson is called the kingdom, you know. Just a picture that represents the kingdom. You know, even though the kingdom probably going to be a lot more glorious than this, you know. What's this shit right here? You see what I'm saying? And, you know, one of the things that I'm kind of down about is that I wanted to have some wine so bad, man. I wanted to have some red wine so bad to make this lesson, but sometimes you can't have it your way, you know, and we got to deal with that, you know. We got to deal with that. So we gonna start off with the most popular scripture about the kingdom, you know, which is Revelation chapter 21. Don't let them tell you different, you know. You know, Revelation is my favorite book anyways, prophecy, you know, but Revelation chapter 21, getting straight into it, you know. Actually, I want to say a couple things on it, you know, because the reason that inspired me to do this lesson is that I've been, for some reason lately, I've been trying to get to the severity of things, if that's the word, you know, the true deep meaning, the like, get the true feeling, because I've been working on my faith and really believing. So I don't want to just scan over the Bible. I don't want to just read these chapters, these precepts, and just scan over them. I want to read them in detail. I want to feel them, you know, and I wanted to really feel it and affect me. See, that's one of the reasons why I wanted the wine, so I could loosen up, kind of break down, and kind of really, you know, get into the scriptures, you know, in the lesson, you know. So you got to really feel this, you know, because all these things are very significant. I guess that's the word. I want to feel how significant these different prophecies are. The prophecy of the kingdom is one of the greatest prophecies of all time. Everybody has always talked about the kingdom. Everybody has always wanted the kingdom and wanted to go to the kingdom. But it's only for the Israelites, and even amongst the Israelites, it's only for the elect, you know. And this is a very glorious thing. You're talking about eternal rest, no death, no plagues, no famines, no pestilences, all joy, everything in order, no wickedness, all righteousness, brotherhood, love, wives, multiple wives, lots of children, protection, you know, and most of all, out of all that, the Lord, you know, dwelling with us. You know, these is very glorious things, you know. So let's dive into it. Revelations 21. We just going to really have to go through this whole chapter and build on it and get precepts to build on it. It says, and I saw the new heaven and new earth, and the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. I'm going to jump around. It says, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So this symbolized the Lord going back into that covenant with Israel, us. You know, and it says, John, he saw the holy city, you know, and we are a people before a place, but it represents all that. The Israelites coming back down to inherit the earth, their kingdom, you know, in the actual city, you know, and it's going to break it down, you know. And it says, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with man, and he shall dwell with them. So the Lord going to be dwelling with us. It tells you that later on in the chapter. And they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and shall be their God. And then it goes to tell you there ain't going to be no more death. Actually, I'm going to keep going. And God shall wipe away all their tears from their eyes, and there should be no more death. So just imagine that, man. Hearken on that real quick. Your wife's not going to die. Your kids are not going to die. You're not going to die. Your brothers that you're going to love in the kingdom are not going to die. We can't even imagine something like that, man. It says neither sorrow. So we ain't even going to have sorrow. It's going to be all good times, man. It says nor crying. You ain't going to have to see your mama cry. Tears come down her eyes because of the curses, really. You know, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. So imagine how we gonna be living it up, man. Imagine the chariots we gonna have. Imagine the buildings we gonna have. Imagine the streets we gonna have. Imagine some of the different technology we gonna have. Shit, imagine those palaces. You know how many times I done sat and dreamed and thought about how my palace gonna be in the kingdom, man? This is real life. This is real shit that I'm telling you, man. You couldn't count how many times I done thought about how my palace is gonna be, how big it's gonna be, the layout is gonna be. Shit, me and my wife, we be watching this little dude on YouTube called Enes, E-N-E-S. I forgot his last name because I think he's Russian or something like that. But what he do is he tore all the houses in California, all the big gigantic houses in Las Vegas, California. Sometimes he'd go out to New York and Miami, but really his turf is California. And he's torn $56 million houses, $60 million houses, $68 million houses. Sometimes he get on the low end, $10 million. Ain't that crazy? And we'd sit up there and watch him tour all these houses, and what he'd do is he'd go in the house, you know, he'd point out the different stones. Oh, this is marble. Okay, this is granite. You know, he'll walk through the house, do a walkthrough. He'll point out what type of stove. Oh, this is a wolf stove. I done been watching this shit so much that I know what a wolf stove is and a Viking stove. I know what the different stoves is. I could look at the different stone and tell you, no, that's granite. Or no, that's marble. You know, because I didn't watch him do so many, you know, so the knowledge that he has, that he's bringing out, I done learned it because we done watch him do so many walkthroughs through these houses. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm thinking in my head that I'm setting up notes of how I'm going to set my palace up. Not even realizing that we can't even imagine how our palace is, because whatever we imagine, our palace is probably going to be 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times greater than that. You know? And that's the crazy thing about it. Brother might have a palace made out of nothing but pure gold. Everything on the palace, everything you touch is nothing but pure gold. Because then it says the streets are going to be pure gold. You know, so we going to keep going though. It says, I'm going to jump to verse 6 because this is important too. It says, he said it to me, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. So you know who's behind this, that's going to give us this great glory. It says, I will give it to him that is enticed of the fountain of water of life freely. But verse 7 is the point. He that overcometh shall inherit all things. You gotta feel that, man. You gotta really feel it. It says, he that overcometh. Matthew 24 said that he that overcometh, he that endureth to the end, the same should be saved. But now it's he that overcometh should inherit all things. We're gonna have everything and anything you ever want. It tells you that in the book of Matthew too. Anything that you should ask of the Lord, he should give, you know, before you even ask of it, you know. So, and it tells you we should receive 100-fold for everything we lose. And that's really a spiritual number, because really ain't no limit to what we're going to receive, you know. But we're going to inherit all things. Anything you could think of, that's what we're going to have in the kingdom, man. It says, I will be his God. That's the greatest part of that. That's the greatest part right there of the whole kingdom. The Lord being our God, going back into that covenant with us. And he should be my son, right? Now I'm going to jump down to get you some context on how the kingdom is going to be. Verse 12, right? No, verse 11. Verse 10. And he carried me away in a spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, the most precious type of stone, this holy city, man, that we all, and you a liar if you say that you not hasting to get to this, man. We definitely hasting to get this. It says even like a jasper, but we understand we have to wait upon the Lord too. Everything's appointed for a certain time. Prophecies have to be fulfilled. One of them is the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. It says in another one is the Lord coming back. It says and another one is the second death by fire and brimstone, which is the nuclear weapons. It says even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. I wanted all these stones at some point in time, man. It says it had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So we understand that this is for the 12 tribes of Israel only, and really it's going to be for the elect first, but all Israel is going to be saved, because the 2/3 will be reborn in the kingdom to also inherit these things. It says on the east 3 gates, right? So on the north 3 gates, and on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. So you could imagine that. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations. And then imagine how glorified our apostles going to be. And this is talking about in the spirit the apostles of GMS too. A couple of them, you know. I mean, all of the apostles of GMS, you know. But it says it's 12, you know. So it's some other apostles out there, I guess, you know. But it says, "In the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb." And some of the apostles are with the Lord right now. You know? It says, "And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city and the gates thereof and the wall thereof." But you gotta imagine, like, these men put in the work to deserve this, that their name, there's gonna be 12 foundations, and each foundation gonna have a name of one of the 12 apostles on it. That's a great glory when you talking about the kingdom of heaven, and they deserve it, man. And we gotta, we gotta love that, because they put the work in, Verse 16, it says, "In the city lie 4 square." So it's just breaking down the measurements. I'm not going to go into that because I want to kind of jump around. Verse 18, "And the building on the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold," kind of like what you're looking on your screen, "like into clear glass." So the city going to be pure gold, man. But like pure gold, not like 10 karat gold that's mixed with different metals, or 14 karat gold. Like 100% pure gold. And whenever you get 100% pure gold, it's like transparent because it's pure gold. It says the foundations of the wall, and it's very glorious. Let's just say that. "And the foundation of the wall, the cities were garnished with all manner of precious stones, diamonds, the best diamonds, different type of stones, It says the first foundation was jasper, the second sharpie, and the third chalcedon, and the fourth emerald, the first sardonyx, and the sixth sardius, and the seventh chrysolite, and the eighth beryl, and the ninth topaz, and the 10th chrysoprase, and the 11th junketh, and the 12th amethyst. It says, "And the 12 gates were 12 pearls." So the gates gonna be made out of nothing but pure pearl. How do you get that big of pearls, man? We gonna have that in the kingdom. Every several gate was of one pearl, of one big pure pearl. "And the streets of the city was pure gold, as it was transparent glass." Our streets gonna be pure gold. Esau ain't got shit on this, man. His streets ain't pure gold. He got concrete and shit. And the concrete be broken up at that. Right? "And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord thy God Almighty and the Lord are the temple," because the Lord gonna dwell with us. I told you that in the beginning. "And the city had no need of sun, neither of the moon to shine in it," the wisdom and knowledge. "For the glory of the God did light it, and the Lamb is the light thereof." Why? Because we're gonna get our knowledge and we're gonna get our wisdom directly from the Lord. Right? "And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor to it." The tribes are going to walk in it, but the kings of the earth are going to bring their glory, and it tells you why. "And the gates of it should not be shut at all by day, or there shall be no night there." Why? And it says, "And they should bring the glory and the honor of the nations into it," meaning anything on earth that they have a glory, they're going to be bringing to the gates to give to the Israelites. You think their beautiful daughters and stuff that they have, they're not going to be bringing them to the gates saying, "Look, go get you an Israelite, man"? Of course, because we're going to have the world. We're going to have we're going to have the whole kingdom. Kingdom is twofold. We're going to have a city, and we're going to have rulership on the whole earth. Every woman on earth is going to desire to get with an Israelite. Because guess what? Deuteronomy 21. If the other nations are in captivity, if she get with an Israelite, guess what? That puts away her captivity from her. It tells you that in the law, Deuteronomy 21. When we see another woman from another nation, we kill all the men and we take the woman to be wives if we desire to. And it tells you she has to put off her captivity. Why? Because she's beginning to be your wife. And then that trickles down to her family being blessed because that's your wife now. So every woman on earth is going to be trying to get with an Israelite man and get the riches and not even just the riches though, but just the glory, the honor, the rest. Because you're going to treat your wife right, you're going to treat your wife to nicely. So if you got a heathen wife and people is in captivity, you ain't going to just treat her like a slave, but she's your wife. You're going to do good things for her because that's your wife. You made her your wife. Now it tells you that also if you go jump back to the books of Isaiah, chapter 60. Verse 11, straight to the point, says, "Therefore thy gates should be open continuously. They should not be they shall not be shut day nor night, that man may bring into thee the forces of the Gentiles, and their kings may be brought. To give you more insight of what it was saying in Revelation 21, just in case you didn't get it. And it proves that you have to have Old Testament and New Testament together, because a lot of things from the New Testament that the prophets, John, especially John in that case, was prophesying about, they get it from the Old Testament, man. We had one Edomite come up to camp one day and try to tell us that the New Testament washed out the Old Testament. It's like, how? It wouldn't be no such thing as the New Testament if it wasn't for the Old Testament. Verse 12, it says, for the nation and kingdom that would not serve thee shall perish. That's slavery. Yeah, and it gives you more insight on Isaiah 14 of that. It said, yeah, those nations shall utterly be wasted. So every nation is going to serve us on earth. Because what's true wealth? Slaves. And we're going to have that in the kingdom. You best believe it. Because weren't we slaves in Esau's kingdom? So having that vengeance is another thing too that's going to be great about the kingdom. Verse 14 says, the sons also of them that afflicted thee should come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. Why? Because we're going to have that power, we're going to have that glory, we're going to have that honor. Look up what Luke 19 starting at verse 27 says. And they should call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. That's another great thing that you can't breeze by. We're going to get our name back, man. We're going to get our heritage back. People ain't going to no longer be lying saying that they us and they not. They going to be giving it up to us. No, y'all the true Israelites. Y'all Yasharala. Y'all the Lord's people. They not going to be lying. Everybody walking around here saying, I'm a Christian. I'm the Catholic. I'm the Lord's people. They ain't going to be lying like that no more, man. Look up Zechariah chapter 14. Just read the whole chapter and see some of the things that can happen to them. You know, jump into the good gospel, which is the next chapter, Isaiah 61. Because Luke 4 verse 17, the Lord quotes this exact chapter. It says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek, and he has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, and to proclaim liberty to the captives, and opening of the prisons to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, right? To comfort all that mourn. Who's he comforting all that mourn? You got to get context. See, a wacky tacky Christian to take that and say, look, everybody that's mourning on earth, he's going to comfort. Context. Verse 3, to appoint into them that mourn at Zion, talking about Israel. That goes back to the Israelites. To give into them, the Israelites, the beauty for ashes, all for the joy of mourning. Ain't talking about no other nations that's going to get this. The garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they may be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified. And they shall build the old wastes. So we gonna be out there with boots on and helmets and physical doing work in the kingdom. It says they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities and the desolations of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowman and your vine dresser. The other nations are going to have to do this. But ye, it says, but ye, the Israelites, shall be named the priests of the Lord. Man shall call you and the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourself. I think I forgot one. Let me jump back to Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 9. It says, surely the owls shall wait for me, and the ships shall tarnish first, to bring thy sons from afar. So they're going to bring our sons from afar. It says their silver and their gold with them. So we gonna get all the silver and gold that's on the earth. And it's plenty of precepts that tells you that. Matter of fact, Zechariah 14 is one of them. Matter of fact, we're gonna go to that one next. It says silver and gold with them, into the name of the Lord thy God, into the Holy One of Israel, because he has glorified thee. Because he has glorified, who is the thee? The Israelites. Verse 10. And the sons of the strangers. So the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have mercy on thee. So their sons are gonna, and the other nations are gonna have to build up our kingdom. Isaiah 14 give you even more context on that. But you know, we gonna get the glory and all the riches. You know, and it tells you that we just read that in Revelation 21, Isaiah, and the rest of Isaiah chapter 60. Now let me jump to Zechariah 14 while it's on the top of my head. Straight to the point, right? Verse 14, and Judah shall also fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered up together, gold and silver and apparel and great abundance. Meaning we gonna take all the wealth, man. That's why our gates are gonna be open, to give us all the wealth. And then you might say, no, that's a bad thing. Why are you guys lusting after all the wealth? Why are you taking all the wealth? Well, newsflash, all the wealth belongs to us anyways. Originally they took it from us and put us in slavery, so we really just get back all our wealth anyways. This Isaiah 14 verse 1, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and a stranger should be joined with them, and they should cleave into the house of Jacob. Stranger is twofold. Strangers talking about the Israelite strangers, and stranger also stands for the other nations. In this case, it's talking about the Israelites. It says, and the people, just like Gentile stands for the Israelites that were being called Gentiles, and then there's actual Gentiles. You got to be able to know how to discern between the two. It says, and the people should take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. We're going to have possessions, slaves, them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. We know the land of the Lord, that's talking about the kingdom, for servants and handmaids. And they should take them captives, even more than being servants and butlers and shit and dishwashers and shit. They gonna be captives. It says, and they should take them captives who captives they wore, and they should rule over their oppressors. The same way we got oppressed, we gonna oppress them. That's righteous judgment. Revelation chapter 13 verse 9, he that have an ear, let him hear. He that lead into captivity should go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is a must. You know, so these things are going to happen. You know, we're patiently waiting for these things, because it said, look, this is the patience and this is the faith of the saints. We really believe in this. And if you don't believe in that, and you say, look, I don't get down with that, I believe everything else, but I don't believe taking nobody in slavery or nothing like that, then this ain't for you. You might as well turn around right now. You not a saint, because it said that would be the patience and the faith of the saints, right? You know, straight to the point. You know, here, let me see where I could get this. I'm trying to get straight to the point. This is Ezekiel chapter 37. I think I lost it. I'm gonna jump straight to. I want to get straight to the point. Verse 26. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. So we're gonna have a covenant of peace, and it should be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them even more. Remember earlier we said what's the greatest thing about the kingdom is our marriage back to the Lord, that covenant back with the Lord. It says, my tabernacle also shall be with them. Yeah, I will be their God. That's the greatest part about the kingdom. And they should be my people. And the heathen should know, not that the heathen should be the Lord's people or be a part of it. It says the heathen should know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary should be in the midst of them forever. That's a great precept. Hold up, I need to jot that one down, man. Woo, I can't let that one go. That's a great precept. I get it. I lost my pen, but I get it. Because it pretty much gets straight to the point and tells you that the Lord is for Israel only. Right? Now, I'm going to jump to Matthew 11, verse 11. I might end here. No, I got one more after that. Matthew 11:11, it says, verily I say unto you, among them that are born of woman, there has not raising a greater than John the Baptist, right? So John the Baptist was the greatest, right? Behind the Lord, right? Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. So the least in the kingdom of heaven, right, is going to be greater than John the Baptist. So just imagine that, man. Imagine that glory. But John the Baptist is going to be back in the kingdom, though, and he going to have a very high position in the kingdom at that, you know. So just imagine that, man. Just, I mean, it really ain't nothing to say about it. It means what it says, you know. And I'm gonna end off with this one right here. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44. And in the day of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, that glorious kingdom that we all hasten for, kingdom of heaven, which should never be destroyed, and the kingdom should not be left to other people. It just told you why in Ezekiel chapter 37, because it's only for the Israelites. In Isaiah 14, it told you why. But it should break, and it told you why in Revelations 21, the 12 gates for the 12 children of Israel. But it should break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it should stand forever. And that's also another glory that we're going to get, is that we're going to get to see all these other nations that took us in slavery broken in pieces and destroyed. Jump into Daniel chapter 7, and we're going to leave it here. You know, the Spirit get on you to keep going, but we're going to leave it here. Verse 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and shall possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. And that's another great thing that you got to realize about the kingdom. Our kingdom is going to be everlasting forever. So with that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Hopefully that's been edifying. Shalom.